Welcome back to the Failing Writers podcast. This week, we salute the near misses, the close calls, the squeakers, the nearly but not quiters, the runners up, the letters down, the bridesmaids, the almost did it, the no cigars. The whole of the Failing Writers community applaud you.
Well, hello and welcome to the Failing Writers podcast.
The writing podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously, but does take delving into all aspects of becoming better writers very seriously indeed.
Very. And sponsored by the lovely folk at Scrivener.
Yep, the snazzy writing software people. And you can
Is that
find
what we're
out
calling
more.
them?
They are snazzy.
Snazzy writing software.
I don't know if they're snazzy or their writing software snazzy. That's for you to decide. If you go to literatureandlatte.com, you might be able to find out. And if you use the code FAILING, you can get 20% off.
You can. Isn't that amazing?
Lovely.
Aren't we generous? Right. Let's get this show started then.
Let's. Hey, John.
Yes.
Great news.
What's that?
It's when you've got some really good information about something notable that's happened.
Thomas.
But anyway,
Yeah,
that's not
so
important right now.
No. What is your great news, Tommy?
We don't have to change the name of the podcast.
That doesn't sound like a good thing. Why are we saying that?
I mean, obviously with the award-winning stuff and what have you, we're thinking, are we failing? Maybe we're not. Well, don't worry. I am a failure.
Turns out we are. Be careful with the wording there, Tommy. You have not failed. We are failing, remember?
Yeah, no. So I entered a right little flurry of writing contests.
Oh, nice. Well done.
In a fit of activity and positive forward motion. And I wrote some like really short stories and medium-length stories and everything. But the trouble is, because I did it in like a flurry, it meant I entered them all around the same time, which means they've all come to fruition, or
Right.
I don't know what the opposite of fruition is, at the same time. And none of the stories have troubled the scorers in any fashion whatsoever.
Right.
So I had a day, I think it was last Thursday, of just, I sort of thought, I wonder what's happened to that one actually. I've not heard. And looked on the website, it's like, oh, nope. No mention of anything there. That's not in the top. No, there's long list. It might be. Nope, not in that either.
Wow.
And then that led me on to all the other ones, and it was just the same story each time. So,
Having said that, Tommy, I suspect there's a fair few of our listeners who are feeling similarly dejected.
oh yeah, they're rubbish at writing as well. So that's good. It's not just me.
But the nice thing is, we're all in it together, aren't we? Because
Yeah.
I too have received, I think, 4 rejections quite recently
Just
too.
4.
So,
Come on.
but I have to say, one of them at least bothered to send me an email, like separately, saying
that's
that they
nice.
really, really enjoyed the story, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah.
But it's still basically a no.
It's a nice no, though, isn't
no.
it?
It is.
Because the worst thing about this was I had to do the legwork to
Yeah,
find
yeah.
out I'd
You didn't
failed.
even get an email saying,
Yeah.
sorry
So
for your...
I had to look at. I had a little list of ones I didn't think. Oh, what about that one then? Oh no, that's a no too.
It's hard not to feel like it's personal sometimes, isn't it?
There is an element of that, isn't it? We kind of your first reaction, or my first reaction, is like being put out. What?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
great.
hold
Well,
on a
thanks
minute.
lot.
And then the trouble is as well, and it's not being
Yeah.
bitter. You find out that you're not on the list, and then you read like the top 3 stories, and you go, well then, have I just missed the point? And then you start second guessing that I've completely missed something because that doesn't seem that. Maybe I've just not. And then you just want to give up, don't you? So
They just didn't see the genius in it.
Yeah.
They missed it.
yeah.
Tom.
Anyway,
They
let's
missed
not wallow in all that.
They didn't get
Let's
it.
not. Enough about failing.
No,
Let's
we
talk
shouldn't.
about some more of our winners, the succeeding ones.
Yes. Are we calling them winners? I think that. I mean,
They're
that's-
all winners in my eyes, John.
You're right. Let's call them winners. Well, first of all, I tell you what. Let's talk about the actual winner, Christophe Meixliu, because we caught up with him, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
After announcing the winner of our £500 first prize last week. And here's what he had to say for himself.
Christophe, thank you very much for joining us on the Failing Writers podcast.
Thank you.
I guess we should start off by saying congratulations. You are actually the winner of this year's flash fiction competition.
You are the overall winner.
I'm, I don't have any words for that, I don't think.
He is actually speechless.
Brilliant. That's. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible for podcasts, but it's a wonderful reaction.
Audio-wise, audio-wise, that's appalling. But it's lovely that it's hit you so hard, and hopefully you're really happy about it.
I'm very, very happy. Thank you.
Yeah, we loved your piece, and obviously Sarah loved your piece as well. But you did a brilliant thing, Christoph. You very cleverly listened carefully to the judge and took very seriously what she asked for, because when I asked Sarah what she'd be looking for, she said these very words. She said, "I like weird fiction, stories that approach subjects from a different angle." And I feel like you went harder on weird than anyone else, and it totally paid off. Where did that come from?
You weirdo.
Yeah. So I decided to put 3 entries in.
Numbers game, well done.
It is a numbers game. I think this was probably the last one that I did.
Right.
But also I did a little bit of research and looked up lying, because I think the other 2 were much more serious. But I liked the fact that one category of lying was bullshitting. And so I don't know if this really counts as bullshitting, but it just gave me license to engage in a flight of fancy, I guess.
Yeah. Well, this is where we found some difference in our opinions on the truth within the lie of your story. And the question I guess we can ask you now as the author, whether it's a metaphorical plant or indeed a real flower type being.
So it's based on a turnip, and I think this was kind of probably the least planned of the stories. And I think the thing that I was able to do was capture a voice because I think sometimes my voice gets overly serious. But it must have also been around Halloween, because I think the turnip comes from thinking about the Irish origins of Halloween and how they use turnips.
Yeah.
So with all of that, I don't know that I meant it to be metaphorical. I was probably not
completely aware. You see, this is why you should never ask the artist what they meant, because they have no idea. It's just coming out their head, isn't it?
They go, oh God, I don't know. It just came out.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want it to mean.
Yeah,
it's probably the right answer to give, isn't it? Yeah, it's whatever you need it to be.
Yeah. So, Christoph, when did you start writing Flash? Have you written Flash for years, or are you fairly new to it? Or?
I started writing I guess I did a bit in school, but that was a long time ago. I started writing during COVID, or largely, I think, to get some sort of creative reprieve from the stress of work at the time. I think the first thing I noticed was the NYC Midnight.
Yeah.
They had a strong Facebook campaign at the time, so I went into that. And then slowly, I guess, discovered that there was
like a whole world out there of Flash.
Yeah. There's there is. And now it's almost, it seems to have blown in population.
Yeah. Has it taken over your life yet? Are you a serial submitter?
Well, I feel like I'm a controlled serial submitter. I try to.
Right.
My partner would probably say it's taken over my life a little bit.
So what's your? Presumably you have a day job and you write around your day job.
Yeah, I'm a psychiatrist.
Oh wow. Okay, well that's interesting. I always think psychology is a really useful thing to know a lot about when you're a writer. It gives you a really good insight into how brains work and how flaws, psychological flaws work and things like that.
I think it certainly helped me. I think I need to be careful about not pretending that I know what's going on in people's minds.
Yeah.
But it's certainly given me a way of thinking about people and how people relate to each other.
Yeah. It must give you an insight. Tell us what do you like about Flash? Do you write other forms? Do you write longer form as well, Christoph?
I have kind of ventured into. I think I've written one 5,000-word story. In fact, I was just thinking as well. I really liked that you made it 300. Initially, I thought it was a bit of a cop-out, but I think 300 is because everything's 500 words now. So I thought 300 just made it a bit more of a delicacy or a...
Yeah, I know what you mean. You've got to be in and out. It's got to be tidy. It's got to be all-encompassing, single thought stuff.
It's like a little snack, a little amuse-bouche. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does require a bit more work, weirdly, doesn't it? Even though it's less words. I think that's really true. Yeah. And have you had any other success in other competitions or submitting to, anthologies or anything?
So I got into the long list for the Mansfield Readers and Writers, which is a Victorian competition. I won a small competition in the Blue Mountains. Yeah, I've had little smatterings, nothing quite, I think, that compares to this.
Oh, good. I'm glad you feel that way.
It's obviously £500. What's going to happen to that money, Christoph?
Oh, I guess I'll put some of it to Scrivener.
Nice.
I don't know.
Competition entry money.
I say, plow it back into the entries, yeah.
Well, I'll think about whether I need to keep my day job. I'll think about whether I need to keep my day job.
Maybe it's
early
a little
retirement.
bit soon for that, maybe, but yeah. It's a start, though, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I was telling people the 2 perks of this. that I could win the £500, but that I'd also speak to my favourite podcast.
We will not ask you which has been the most gratifying of the two.
Oh,
But I think we probably all know.
Of course,
really.
We don't even need to mention it.
But Christoph, congratulations. We really all did love your story.
Amazing. Completely mad, but really brilliant.
Just gripping though, wasn't it? That's the thing about it.
Yeah.
It's just so kind of inane on some level, but gripping, and then you start looking into the deeper meanings you can bring to it.
So
whether it is all just an excuse because he doesn't want to have people over, or whether it's really happening and he feels he can't, or it's really interesting.
I love the fact that Christoph just went, sorry, what meanings? What were those deeper meanings? Sorry. Yeah. All right, we'll leave you to your evening.
Yeah, have a great rest of the day and congratulations.
Thanks
well done, Christoph.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Nice to meet you. Take care.
Have a good day.
Cheers, bye.
You too. Bye.
I got the impression while we were talking to him that he was actually genuinely a bit overwhelmed at winning.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think he was. But very well deserved, Christoph.
Yeah, it was. It was. And nice to catch up with him.
Yeah,
and along with Christoph, there were plenty more that earned a bit of appreciation, weren't there, last week?
Indeed, there were. So let's get on to the main bit of this episode. Welcome to our runners-up episode, where we showcase those who rose up to the top in our flash fiction contest.
The ones that nearly won, because, and they genuinely did, it wasn't a case of coming down the list. It was pretty tight, wasn't it? Like, as soon as you got to those sort of top 8 entries, it got to a real kind of could have been all of them or any of them, or it was just, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I always like this episode because it's like the sort of the chilled after party from the big event, isn't it? You know,
after last week's Razzmatazz.
That's right.
Is like the chill out.
We kind of get to loosen our bow ties, slip off the uncomfortable shiny shoes, and just chill with some top quality flash fiction.
Do you know, saying about bow ties there, it reminds me, when I was at uni and we'd have our big Christmas dinner, and it was always like a black tie event, which makes perfect sense for students because obviously we've all got our tuxedos just lying around. I'm sure that must just be some great scam for the local tuxedo rental company. Anyway,
without a doubt. Yeah.
One guy who was just trying far too hard to be cool, so he had a clip-on bow tie, like everyone did. Obviously, the ones just with the little catching already done up,
because they're impossible to do.
But then in his inside pocket, he bought a proper bow tie,
right?
Like an unfolded one, a proper bow tie, just so he could get it out at the end of the night. So he'd take off his clip-on one and then put his open one on, like undone around his neck to give that kind of oof, look at me, big night out, that kind of top button undone.
It was a real bow tie the whole time.
Yeah.
I can't decide whether that's genius or just really sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what they say. It's a fine line between genius and looking like a twat.
Is that what they say?
I don't know if it is, but I think it should be.
It should be. Right. So, Tom, what have we got first from our runners-up?
Well, do you know where we should start? Where we are starting is with Stephen Stilbech's entry, Warm Sherry, because that was the only story out of the hundreds of entries that me and you both put through to the shortlist, like completely independently. It wasn't one that we had a chat about or anything. It was just both picked it.
Yeah, we both did. We did love this one. It's kind of sad that it didn't get further up the rankings, really, isn't it?
It is, isn't it, when you have one that you both kind of think, that one, I mean, technically that one should have won because we both liked it. But to be fair, there's probably a lot of other entries you could say that about as well that we loved. And then something's got to give somewhere. Someone's got to win. Someone's got to not win.
Well, we should have a little listen to Stephen's story, shouldn't we?
We should. But before we do that, we asked him to send in a quick little bit to tell us about where the story came from. So here's Stephen.
Hi, I'm Stephen Stilbech, and my short story is Warm Sherry. Warm Sherry began on a dog walk. The story is about that incredible radar kids have for something not being quite right, especially kids that have a lot going on at home. Every day I pass a house at the end of my road, and more often than not, there is washing on the line. Sometimes it can be out there for days, overnight, in the rain. On this particular day, it was a bunch of white sheets soaked by the rain, looking like a collection of disgruntled ghosts. This key image of something being not quite right evolved into Warm Sherry. The story is about a teenager returning home from school to see the familiar signs that his mum has been drinking again, and knowing, no matter how he tries to make it right, she will leave before his dad gets home from work. I hope you enjoy it.
Thanks for that, Stephen. And here's his lovely story. Warm Sherry by Stephen Stilbech. Coming home, you know the signs. Sheets in the rain, back door open, wet rug. You press school into your bag. No one needs to know. Cold rills the length of your arms. Under your shirt, skin gooses like braille. Fingertips to tell the story, dropping drunkard sheets into the basket, sagging as they drip sherry on your shoes. Inside, Mum. She looks up, and you know. She's smoking indoors. Your record player scratches. She stagger smiles at you, needing. You don't need to tell her the washing's as soaked as she is. Dump it in the sink. Her voice uneven.
Your dad will be home soon.
She stares at the washing and the ashtray and you, noticing the things that will condemn her. You never do. Feel the water rising, pouring from the limp rags in the sink, up and up. She weeps, salting the flood. You'll both drown if you stay here. Where's Joe? You say before the water covers your mouth.
I sent her to her room.
You swim away, heaving open the door, wading to the stairs.
She smashed something in the airing cupboard.
She calls, like that's normal. Airing cupboard. Warm sherry hidden in the sheets. You know the lie. Your sister is crying. Flicker smiles when she sees you. Someone to join her life raft.
Have you got money for chips?
Mum calls.
Maybe you could get me another.
You go downstairs, knowing she spent the food money. Wasted on a bottle your sister broke, pulling a towel from the airing cupboard. What do you want more for? She looks at you, like you don't know.
More is more.
Her pockets bulge, coins from your piggy bank. I'll get some chips, you say, knowing that by the time you get back, she'll be gone. Stephen Stilbech, he's always like there or thereabouts in our competitions, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's one of those writers. He knows how to play the heartstrings. But yeah, I thought this was just another notch up.
He's outdone himself.
I think for me, maybe because he's, it's a sad little story, isn't it? But he's kind of steering clear of the sort of obvious, kind of the mawkish, and instead he creates this lovely little metaphor for how alcohol can destroy a family, I suppose, or make a family feel like it's drowning.
And it's interesting from what he said in his little piece that he sent us about where it came from. Just seeing that burgeoning idea coming, and it's covered in the first sentence about the sheets in the rain as he's walking home. It's just interesting, isn't it, for him to build all that backstory and that extra stuff from that. It's lovely how the human mind comes up with an idea and runs with it and converts it into something new.
You get the sense that he does that a lot. He just walks around, like sees things and goes, "Oh,
yeah." Well, that's the way to do Flash, isn't it? To kind of find these little glimmers in life and then capture them and write around them.
Pop it in your notebook.
But no, it was just all lovely, wasn't it? And obviously it connected and impressed both of us, as we said.
I liked the paragraph. Where's Joe? You say before the water covers your mouth. I sent her to her room. You swim away, heaving open the door, wading to the stairs. She smashed something in the airing cupboard, she calls. Like that's normal.
Yeah.
And even that line about the airing cupboard is great because it sort of capsizes you as the reader, which is obviously what it's designed to do. Because you're thinking, why is she saying that? But it's very clever. It has the effect of placing you right in the shoes of the protagonist.
Yeah.
And using the the second person, I thought that was a clever little trick.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on the using second person?
It's a difficult one to actually do, isn't it? Like to intentionally do. I think sometimes it just kind of happens.
Yeah.
And when it does, it's very seamless and invisible.
Feels like it's woven into this.
Yeah.
It's really well done in this, I thought. Very good indeed.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you very much.
So, who's next?
Next up, we have Here Lies by Stuart James Taylor.
Yeah. Now, this perhaps might not come across like fully in audio, but this kind of had a typographical element to it, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it was presented as you would see words carved onto a gravestone. Here Lies by Stuart James Taylor. Here lies Sarah Jane Linton, née Walker, born 18th February in the year 1772, died 24th December in the year 1796, survived by her devoted husband, the Honourable John Linton, born 15th August 1769, carpenter, veteran, and provost of the burgh of Leslie Green, 1797 onwards, who, with great determination, strength, and courage, did fight to save those dear lives in vain, it being so the will of God. His skilled hands, marked by flame for all his remaining years of earthly suffering, for suffering loss more is more love suffered, till his body be here lain in the ground, and his eternal soul rejoin in his glory, in the kingdom of heaven, his beloved wife, and their children, Agnes, 1784 to 1796, Mary, 1788 to 1796, Elizabeth, 1790 to 1796, Timothy, 24th of December, 1796. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Revelation 21:8. The cold stone, whose bill the provost paid, and nothing more, stood black as a tooth. From the sun-kissed spot at its base, where the stonemason kneeled to plant them, and where he returned, heart moved, for a moment's sad remembrance for many years to come, running his rough fingertips across the signs engraved, round and round the only deviation from his honour's fat commission, that final figure-8 loop, which took all his feeble courage to carve instead, so that justice be done in the ever after. The wildflowers rose from the earth, 5 spears of foxglove, reaching for the sun.
So what did you like about that one, John?
I mean, what a great premise for a story. I like a bit of high concept flash.
Yeah.
But epitaph as flash, I thought that's just brilliant. What a great setup. But it was also just it was well done as well. You know, the writing on the old grave is really well observed.
Yes.
You know, it sort of rang true, didn't it? The language of it rang true as something that would have been carved back in the in the 1700s.
Yeah, and it did enough to kind of intrigue as well, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
In the way that you can imagine some gravestones and sort of old carvings would do, where I think there's always a story behind it, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
that's
someone's
it.
life, it's someone's thing. There's always going to be something in there.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
Because we've all had a look at gravestones, and you inevitably will come across one in a graveyard that has something quite unusual written on it, and it kind of makes you question what happened there. There's a story there, but it's a really nice example of that. But
yeah, good vehicle, isn't it, to use?
Yeah.
Clever.
I thought it was really nice, but I thought the payoff was really beautifully written too.
Yeah,
and especially that absolute standout metaphor, black as a tooth.
Yeah.
I just thought that's so clever because it's so surprising, and just like immediately instills the idea of rottenness.
Yeah.
Just in that simple word, the word black as a tooth. I just thought that was great. It reminded me a little bit. I mean, I might be going off on one here, but it reminded me a tiny bit of Ozymandias. The poem, the Shelley poem.
Right.
It's got that slightly sort of cynical, eyebrow raised. This craftsman. He might have been a simple fella, but he bloody knew. And I really like that.
Brilliant.
And just what a beautifully little contained thing.
Yeah.
And really original.
Brilliant, Stuart. Well done.
Very well done. So next we've got Ellie's Bad Day by Jonathon Davies, one that Sarah highly commended.
Yeah, and I can see why. I really, really love this one. I think just that kind of, there's a dry humour in the overall plot line, isn't there? As you'll hear in a second, dear listener. And I think it kind of would all make a really good, like, short sketch or short film, like a little, little arty short film. It's quite, I can kind of see it. But no, I really, really like this one.
Well, let's hear it.
Ellie's Bad Day by Jonathon Davies. I'm afraid I won't be making it for my shift today, Carol. Ellie held the phone to her ear as she stared at the swirling hole next to her dresser. Is that so? Carol murmured from the other end of the line. Yes, you see, it can't be helped. An interdimensional portal has opened up in my bedroom and, well, obviously, I can't leave until it's addressed. Ellie dipped a finger into the portal. It had a texture like tapioca pudding. Is that so? That's a new one. Why don't you just say you're sick? You want me to lie? No, but at least use a believable excuse. In the past year, you've been blocked in by a derailed train, got amnesia from eating bad pork, and kidnapped by a disgruntled chimpanzee. Exactly. You know what a hard year I've had. Why are you giving me grief about this? The portal sizzled, then started contracting. All right, the truth is, I can't live a small life anymore. I have to live outrageously and freely. More is more, I say. This portal is the opportunity I've been waiting for. So there. I'll keep you up to date. Ciao. Ellie tossed aside her phone, pressed her face close to the portal and tried to see what was on the other side. Nothing. With a sigh, she strutted inside. There was a moment of disorientation before her destination started to materialise. She detected familiar scenery as it started to form. Bland grey walls, rows of desks, garish lighting. Oh, damn, Ellie cried as she realised where she was. She thought to try and slip back into the portal, but it was too late. She'd already locked eyes with Carol. Ellie waved to her half-heartedly as she sniffed loudly and gave a terrible impression of a cough. Honestly, what's the world coming to when you can't even trust a random interdimensional portal?
It's true.
These days, I tell you.
Sign of the times, isn't it?
Blimey. But yeah, no, I do, like I said, I love that, how it's just the excitement. I mean, it's the ultimate excitement and openness of like some kind of parallel world with this portal, and then for it just to land you back at work where you were trying to avoid anyway.
Back in your mundane little life.
And as again, with any piece of Flash, you've got that wonderful thing going on where there's no way of knowing whether this is a true story, inverted commas, about an interdimensional portal, or whether it's just a really deep, thick metaphor or not. And there's and so often in Flash, there's not a way of knowing which way that falls. You just you kind of accept it either way, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it feels like a story about that, doesn't it? About you sort of get this dawning realization as you're reading it that it's actually about something slightly more profound, maybe. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That we're all kind of yearning for something a bit more meaningful in our slightly silly little pointless lives. Yeah. But I thought, what a brilliant way of expressing it, and funny as well.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you've got that kind of that sort of, like I said, that dry humour, that kind of just everything ends up just being a mild anticlimax. I mean, that's the metaphor for life, isn't it?
Yeah. There was a tiny, for me, there was a tiny little bit of satire in there as well. And I'm not sure if this is true, but it felt like there was maybe like a little bit of gentle teasing in there about how attitudes towards work have changed
maybe
over the years. was just a little bit of a whiff of entitlement in that line. Exactly. You know what a hard year I've had. Why are you giving me grief about this? You know, that I don't think that line would have been as funny like 15, 20 years ago. But anyway, it's very, very nice. Very nicely observed about people.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan.
So that was one of the highly commended stories, as we've said. And the other one was Pax Romantica by Kieran Ahern.
Such a good story, this one. And I mean that in a sense of a story. Just it's so well anchored in the trappings of normal life. Slowly turns you around while you're in it. And I think it's just so nicely done, isn't it?
Yeah.
And here's a little bit from Kieran himself to introduce his story.
Hi folks, this is Kieran Ahern. Thank you so much for including me on the shortlist for the competition with my story Pax Romantica. The story I was working on earlier this year. I sort of started writing short stories at the start of this year and Flash, and this story was always kind of this length really. I really like the capacity for Flash to capture a small moment in someone's life and blow it up. So that's what I tried to do with this story. And I hope you enjoy listening to it.
Pax Romantica by Kieran Ahern. She didn't call anyone at first. For a few hours, she went about their morning chatting about the daytime telly, leaving his tea and slice of fruitcake to go cold in front of him, as he went cold in front of her. He'd always woken up first, each morning for 60 years. When she'd walked into the living room in her dressing gown and slippers, she'd known something was awry, because he'd left ITV on. He must have forgotten to switch over after the early sports reports, she'd thought. But he had gone, for good. Sometime between 6:30, when the football roundup started, and 7, when Richard Madeley appeared on Good Morning Britain. There was no chance he'd have kept Madeley on while alive. Madeley would have remained on screen only over his dead body. She sat in the old configuration, her back to the picture wall, his to the cupboard, she near the kitchen, he near the fire. She savoured every last drop of him, his hard brow, his mottled hands. When the moments left are less, more is more. She breathed him in. At 12, she called their son, when she knew that he'd be on lunch. Why cause a fuss while he was working? There was seldom something so pressing that it was worth causing a fuss over. She'd always said that. Between the phone call and the doorbell, 15 minutes later, she sat with him and stared absently through a rowdy episode of Loose Women, Madeley long since gone. He's awfully amenable today, she told herself. Outside, several gardens away, some neighbours bickered in raised voices. She held his hand, as cold as the leather sofa, and waited for the fuss to begin, as they sat together, one last time, in peace.
I mean, as Kieran insinuated in there is a decent section of the population who think that death is actually the preferred outcome to having to watch Richard Madeley on TV, isn't? And I think that's fair enough. I think that's a good point, well made.
I think you're right. I mean, that just starting with that that's just a lovely. I love that combination of sadness and humour in this is really nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
They always work well together, don't they? Let's be honest. But yeah, it was just very simply told, wasn't it? It was just a really beautiful little love story, and you know that I'm a bit of a sucker for a love story.
Yeah.
Very understated.
Yeah, and like I said, so well anchored in just dreary normal life.
Yeah.
Which kind of just makes it all sort of a bit brighter at the same time in terms of turns the saturation right up on it, doesn't it? Of reality.
There seems to be so much detail about the character as well. You can really feel the character. But it feels like Kieran's not doing a lot to make that happen, but somehow, it's just in the little details, I think. I think the joy of this, in a way, is the little details that fill out the sort of the truth of the situation.
Yeah.
But for me, what a great opening line. She didn't call anyone at first. For a few hours, she went about their morning chatting about the daytime telly, leaving his tea and slice of fruitcake to go cold in front of him as he went cold in front of her. It just tells you so much.
Yeah.
I think in Flash, sometimes people maybe forget that, like, the first sentence or two, actually, they sort of have to set things up. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes, occasionally, you're still wondering what's going on halfway through the story. Do you know what I mean? Some of the stuff that we read, I think. But actually, to have a really great line to place you in the scene so you can get your bearings and get an idea who we're dealing with and everything, who the character is even. I think that's really, really useful to a reader. And I think sometimes people forget that.
It is. But I also think that's possibly a very hard thing. You have to be a pretty good writer to be able to do that competently without it being like, here's some awkward exposition at the start just to explain my story for you. Which, and if you read that, you go, God, that's just what that is.
Yeah, it is. It's perfect.
But it doesn't.
The way she's just sort of carrying.
It doesn't sit out as wrong. You don't feel like. Yeah.
It's almost like that first line is almost like a condensed version of the entire story, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Or we use ChatGPT because ChatGPT does that a lot as well. Yeah.
To summarise.
There's no M dashes in it though. I think there's a little. Just a normal dash further on. So I think we're okay. Take
that back, Thomas.
No, absolutely not.
Really, really nice. I think if you can achieve that, if you can make people feel sad and make them laugh, like in the following line, I think you are officially in the very good writers club.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Well done, Kieran.
Definitely. Brilliant.
I also liked the way he got the phrase in as well. Thought that was nice. That line, when the moments left are less, more is more.
Yeah.
She breathed him in.
Because that's just lovely. Just truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just truth.
Very human. It's a lovely sort of observation about grief, about not wanting to let go of people.
Yeah.
Just clinging on to that last little bit of time.
I think almost as well, though, it's the acknowledgement that it is the last bit of time.
Yeah, she's not really quite pretending, is she? It's like she simultaneously knows he's dead, but has also sort of convinced herself that she's got a bit of time left with him.
Yeah, it's as you're reading through it, it's not going to go on for. This isn't a forever thing. This isn't some living with the body for 8 weeks before being discovered.
She's not psycho. Yeah,
this is just like a gentle slowing to stop.
Yeah,
but just taking that time as a.
That's it.
No, lovely, very gently done with that lovely little realism and sort of gentle humour. Brilliant.
Very good. Bravo. Right, I think we're on to the last of the runners-up, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we are already. That's, So, finally, we've got Rapport from Jasmine Sears. Now, I like this one for a few reasons, actually. I think because it's one of those that kind of slowly opens up to you as you go. So, like we just talked about, where kind of Kieran sort of set out the full thing at the top. This one does the opposite. This one doesn't. This just kind of gives you some kind of snippets of what's going on, and then slowly you're building the picture up. And it's kind of the overall idea of it is actually completely obvious, but only once you've kind of gone through it. It's not one of those that you think, oh God, that was cheating me a little bit. It's all out in the open, but it just kind of builds up. And the other thing with it is the way it does that in just 300 words. It's got like 3 or 4 completely separate scenes in it.
Yeah.
That's kind of good going for 300 words, isn't it?
To get... Well, can you stop giving it away, Tom, and actually just play it?
People, blurt out the ending. No, listen to it yourselves. Rapport by Jasmine Sears. Ivy fumbled for her phone in the winter pre-dawn gloom, squinting at the lock screen. 6:31 a.m. One new message. Happy birthday! Half asleep, Ivy tapped out, "You too!" and burrowed back under the covers. Ivy set down her latest beach read and picked up her phone, hoping for an ETA from Vivian. Her friend was late for their weekly summer lunch date, as usual. But no, this was from an unsaved number. HBD dear, I hope you are doing well. After sending off a quick, "Thanks, you too," Ivy returned to her paperback. Ivy resisted the urge to grab her phone. The timer showed less than a minute until she needed to drain the bucatini. With the pasta safely in the colander, Ivy was scrolling through the flurry of new messages before her glasses had fully cleared from the burst of steam. I almost forgot. Happy birthday, Ivy! Smiley face. I was getting in the car and thought of you. She's been perfect for us, by the way. You were totally right. More is more. Last was a photo. A maroon extended cab pickup gleamed in the afternoon sun under crimson and gold fall foliage. Ivy smiled. So happy to hear that. I hope you had a lovely birthday as well. Let me know if you need anything. Ivy handed her business card to the client, sitting across from her. If there's any way I can help, please don't hesitate to text me. The silver-haired gentleman adjusted his reading glasses and slowly entered Ivy's number into his phone. I'll just make a photocopy for the dealership and then we can start the test drive. Ivy scooped the man's license off her desk. Her eyes skimmed over it, widening in surprise. March 31st. That's my birthday too.
Very nice. Very true to the theme of a lie.
Yes, very much at the hub of it, isn't it? Very simple, isn't it?
It really is.
And I thought it sort of makes you think, doesn't it? It's that balance between, it's just a little lie, that's not going to do anyone any harm. But then you kind of thinking moves on from that. You think, hold a minute, if they're sort of a dodgy car salesman and they're willing to tell that lie, what other lie? What is there a line? Will they stop, or are they just kind of? Yeah.
I think it's interesting because you're left. I think it's the feeling you're left with at the end, like you say, is the sense of Ivy's just totally dispassionate amorality. It's like she's completely unflustered, isn't she, by these lies?
And that's it. As you start off, you think, that's nice.
Yeah.
People are being nice to each other here. And then, you realise, no, she doesn't care.
She really doesn't give a crap.
It's just a process.
But it is nicely revealed. It's like a little detective puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you are dropped these little clues along the way. That sly mention of winter first and then summer. And you kind of half clock it, don't you?
There's some nice little bits like that where you should be more aware of what's going on here. If you've not read it careful the first time.
You sort of know that subconsciously there's some things not quite right, but you're sort of too busy concentrating on other things to really get it. And I think that's the joy of it, isn't it? It's like the going back and reading it again thing is always quite fun, isn't it, with stuff like that?
Yeah.
Do you get the feeling that Jasmine might have had a bad experience with the car salesperson? Do you think she's exacting a bit of literary revenge?
Well, interesting you might say that, John. I can tell you exactly where the idea came from. Well, not so much me. Here's Jasmine.
So a couple of years ago, I was buying a car. And when a sales lady saw my license, she said, "Oh, we have the same birthday." And I thought that was really cool, and I did end up buying a car from her. So when my birthday came around, I thought about texting her, "Happy birthday." But then I thought, wait, what if she tells that to everyone to build rapport? So I didn't text her, but I saw the Failing Writers podcast contest announcement, and I wrote a story.
Yeah, so not far off, John, not far off. Thanks for your story, Jasmine.
So, Thomas, that is all of our runners-up stories.
It is. I love them all. Congratulations, everyone.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and thank you to Scrivener for sponsoring the contest and the series. Do not forget to check out literatureandlatte.com and use Failing to get 20% off.
And once again, thanks to everyone who wrote something for the competition. It means a lot. And despite most of us not winning anything, as we pointed out at the start of the show as well with me and John, we're all still winners, really, aren't we? So that's nice.
I mean, strictly speaking, no.
Yeah, no, we're not.
But yes, I know what you're saying, Tom. Well done, everybody. Seriously, well done for pulling your finger out and getting your story written. Obviously, those of you that did, because there will be some people listening who didn't do anything, just sat there listening. But that's okay too.
Yeah, next year, folks. Next year.
Yeah, there's always next year. Brilliant. Well, I hope you enjoyed those stories. And we'll see you next time on the Failing Writers podcast.
Hello?
Hello?
Where's everybody gone?